Welcome along to another CrowdProperty.com funding opportunity. Today we're going to St Albans, and it's the land to the rear of 12 Trowley Hill Road in Flamstead, AL3 8EE. Now, CrowdProperty is a peer-to-peer lending platform designed to facilitate loans between private individuals and professional property businesses. CrowdProperty is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority under permission number 723959. CrowdProperty is not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. There are risks with any loans you make, and just like all peer-to-peer lending, your capital is at risk. CrowdProperty endeavours to protect all lenders. This is done by registering the legal first charge against the property project. This means that in the very unlikely event a borrower defaults on the loan, CrowdProperty will be able to take ownership of the project and manage it for the lenders. So the borrowers on this project are Found Hill Flamstead Limited. It's an SPV with a company number 12767081. The directors of the company are John Shome, or AJ as we call him, and Kevin Edge. I'm delighted that both of them are joining us here on this webinar. Let's start off with you, please, Kevin. Tell us a little bit more about you and your background.
I live in St Albans. I've been running a construction company for about 30 years, Civic Design and Build, so it's a design and build construction company. Basically, we've been working primarily in extensions and large renovations around St Albans, and then we started moving into new build houses. And I've been working with AJ now for about 3-4 years on new build developments.
So tell us a little bit more about you, AJ.
My background's a bit different to Kevin's, as you'd probably hope. My background was really more in the sort of corporate sector as a sales director for a number of years. But around about 2014, really got into land and planning specifically. So that's where sort of Found Hill was originally born back in 2014. And since that time, you know, working with Kevin, we've grown into sort of full life cycle developers where we do everything from sourcing development sites, getting the planning consent, and then obviously developing those for sale in the open market. Generally a much higher margin than your average development, and focusing really on sort of commuter areas in the southeast of the UK and North London.
So let's then look at this project. And this is a single phase raise where CrowdProperty has agreed a total bridging loan facility of £805,000. That's to enable the borrower to purchase a plot of land which has planning permission granted, and it's in Flamstead, St Albans. This loan is going to run for a maximum of 12 months, and the interest will be retained on this loan. Lenders are going to receive the equivalent rate of 8% per annum, and the interest is going to be paid every single month. So let's start off then by finding out a little bit more about the local area. Tell us, AJ, a little bit about Flamstead.
Flamstead is it's a really pretty village actually, and the location of this site is right in the heart of the conservation area within Flamstead. So it's quite lesser known. It's kind of off the beaten path to some degree, but it's surrounded by some really sort of key towns and villages such as Harpenden, St Albans. There's some bigger centres such as Luton, Hemel Hempstead, which are all sort of fairly large settlements. But the key thing about Flamstead is it's that sort of quintessential village location, really beautiful, couple of really nice, you know, traditional pubs that service the village, which we've been in a number of times. And but then on the other hand, it's very close to London, really close reach to Harpenden train station, Luton, various other main transport hubs. And the site itself is situated within a really nice sort of rural location within that, adjacent to the area of outstanding natural beauty as well. So some of the units on this site actually overlook that area of outstanding natural beauty. So it's a really nice site, and we're really excited to move it forward.
Now, of course, it's a former builder's yard as well, and planning permission has been granted by Dacorum Borough Council. Their planning reference 19/02993/FUL, where permission has been granted to redevelop the site to provide 6 dwellings and the associated parking, landscaping and hard standing. Now, once the borrower has purchased this property, they're then going to discharge the remaining pre-commencement planning conditions and then prepare for an immediate start on the site. CrowdProperty will be invited to then write a development loan for this project. The maximum loan term here is 12 months, and the project will be first charge secured to protect people investing on this project. Here's the location plan. We heard AJ saying where it is in relation to the motorways and local towns such as Hemel Hempstead, St Albans, Luton. On the right hand side you can see the village of Flamstead, and you can see the CrowdProperty flag pointing to where the property is located inside that village. So access via a driveway between two properties on Trowley Hill Road, which is mostly a residential area. So looking at the photo on the right hand side, you can see neighbouring properties. There's various bus routes around about running into the local towns such as Luton, Dunstable, St Albans and Margate. So let's find out a little bit more then about this proposed development. Tell us, Kevin, a little bit more then about what you're going to be doing here.
Yeah, so as you said, Andy, it's an old builder's yard. We're going to be putting in 6 new houses, a different mix of types, 2-storey and single-storey houses. It's really interesting externally because there's a real good mix of materials. We've got some flint work, there's some timber, there's the bricks, old stock bricks that we've got to do in a Flemish bond. So it's a very traditional mix. We've worked really hard with the conservation department to really achieve a high quality external building. And I know that having met the builder who used to own the site, having met him there, he's really excited as well by what we're going to be creating.
It's always nice when they follow the progress and show interest, isn't it, on how you're going to move the plot forward. Tell us a little bit more about how you found this project and how you found that builder.
Looking on land maps to look for appropriate developments or potential developments, and then we start talking to the owner, talking about what we're looking to put on their land and see if we can work a deal that's going to work well for both of us.
The total GDV of this site is 3.7 million. And remember, once the developer has discharged their pre-commencement conditions and they're ready to start on site, they will then look to refinance this onto a development loan. Let's then look at these proposed plans. And let's come back to you, please, AJ. What is it that you're hoping to build here?
So effectively, these plots 1 and 2 are family units. So you can obviously come through the front door. You've got the downstairs toilets, which again you don't tend to have in a lot of these. So this is the modern element. Very large kitchen dining areas in all of the units, because that tends to be the sort of big requirement of modern buyers. And then separate snug stroke sitting room, again, which is from our market research is something that buyers tend to want to have. And then upstairs you've got the 3 bedrooms laid out master with an ensuite, again designed for the market, and then additional bedrooms as well, making these sort of comfortable 3-bedroom houses. Plots 3 and 4, again you can see the large sort of family kitchen dining rooms with the family room integrated into that large open space. The rest of the separate sitting room, and then the 3 bedrooms upstairs. So when it comes to plot 5 and 6, these are of a different design. So these are similar to a barn style construction. And what we've actually done with these is, since getting the approval for these 2 units, we've actually realised that we could actually integrate another story into these plots, and have since in the last week got an approval for an additional story with gable end windows outlooking onto effectively what is a private orchard area and the area of outstanding natural beauty. So already in the time that we've had the consent, we've really enhanced these 2 plots. And I think these 2 are going to be probably the showpiece of the development, given the beautiful views and the outlook that they have to the rear. And again, these will be 3-bedroom with the latest designs.
You mentioned that all of these designed plots are a little bit different. Who do you see as the target audience for all of these properties?
It's interesting because we've done a lot of work into this and worked with local agents, looked at detailed comparison comps, and obviously we've got to know the village quite well. So there is a mix of people who come to an area like this. Generally speaking, we find a lot of downsizers, but obviously since there's been a big change in the market, this is exactly the type of location that people are looking to move out to, because it blends the balance of rural living with good city connectivity and the ability to work in home. So obviously all of these houses will come with fibre connections and everything else to suit the sort of young family market as well as the downsizers. So they're probably the 2 key areas that would fulfil living in properties like this.
Now, you've got experience from other projects you've done. I've got a couple of case studies that I'd like to go through. Maybe we can come back to you, please, Kevin. Talk us through what you did at Waltham Abbey.
Yeah, this was a development of 9 houses on an old scaffolder's yard. So we got planning permission for the 9 houses on a large area, 9 detached houses with beautiful big gardens, and they've also got a big kind of green paddock area they all share. It's been a really interesting project to work on. It's been a challenging project to work on. You really kind of earn your stripes when you go through some of the muck and bullets. Obviously, coronavirus being a big challenge for everyone at the moment. We had challenges with the levels of the site. It was a really big sloping site we had to work with. We had contaminated land to work with, big issues with drainage we had to work with, big long road to get into the site. So we worked really well to achieve the project. And we're really pleased to say that we've sold 8 of the houses within 6 weeks, just as we sort of come out of lockdown, which has just been phenomenal. And we think we've got an acceptable offer on the last house as well. So we're really pleased with this development. We achieved Deal of the Year and Development of the Year at Property Investors Awards for this project in December just gone.
Congratulations, and a healthy profit as well on this particular one on percentages. And talk about healthy profits, let's come over to this second case study we've got, which is in St Albans. And this was a very good deal as well, wasn't it?
Very good deal, yeah. So this was in St Albans, as you say. It was an old gymnasium that we purchased and turned into 4 3-bedroom flats, and then we turned the 3-bedroom flats into mini HMOs. So it's essentially become a 12-bedroom HMO, and it's right next to the station, so it's a fantastic location. It's always full. We've managed to keep it in the portfolio. It was a great development. We also won Deal of the Year at the Property Investors Awards in 2016 for that.
So let's come back to this project at Trowley Hill Road, and this is going to be a single raise of £805,000. RICS have verified the current market value to be £1.26 million. They've also verified the gross development value to be £3.7 million, and the estimated construction cost will be £1.4 million. The day one gross drawdown of £805,000, less the retained interest. So that means that the initial loan to value is 63.9%. The maximum loan period for this is 12 months, and this loan is targeted to start on the 1st of October 2020. Remember, the exit strategy is that once the developer has discharged their pre-commencement conditions and is ready to start on site, they then will refinance onto a development loan. On this particular project, lenders are going to be receiving 8% per annum interest, and that interest is paid monthly. And it is going to be secured with the first charge security against the title on this particular project. So your next steps then are to make sure that you understand the loan, carry out your own due diligence on the project, and then decide how much you would like to lend. CrowdProperty.com is the place to be to pledge on launch. The necessary anti-money laundering checks will be carried out, and then you'll be invited to send your funds to your own online e-wallet, and you'll start earning that interest on completion of the loan agreement. So this is a single raise of £805,000 for up to 12 months. It's 8% per annum interest, and that's going to be paid monthly. And this is for the property at the rear of 12 Trowley Hill Road, Flamstead in St Albans, AL3 8EE. Thank you for watching this webinar. We look forward to joining us again soon back here at CrowdProperty.com.